9 videos, 75 years. From Turing's 1950 imitation game all the way to ChatGPT in 2022. Every failure, every partial win, every dramatic plot twist, you have now seen all of it. But every fight so far has been about engineering. None of them ever ask the harder question. What is language? What is the actual thing we are trying to build a system for? That question takes lecture 2. Starting today, we set up the map. Last episode, we named the 4 real obstacles: productivity, ambiguity, symbol grounding, the common sense floor. These 4 are the bones of every remaining video in this course. Memorize them. Today, we use them as the lens for the wrap-up. Today closes lecture 1 and sets up lecture 2. We zoom out one more time on history. We lay out the linguistic layers we are about to walk down, and we update the running puzzle. Compact, synthesis, the map of the course ahead. Today's 3 beats. First, the 75-year recap in 3 movements, 3 clusters of videos, 1 sentence each. Second, the layers of language. The 6-level onion lecture 2 opens with. Third, the puzzle update, where the running does it understand question sits at the end of lecture 1. Movement 1. Videos 1 to 3. The framing era. Turing in 1950 posed the imitation game. In V2, we untangled the CL and NLP split. In V3, we watched the 1954 Georgetown demo announce that translation wasn't 3 to 5 years away. It took 60. Movement 2. Videos 4 to 6. The rules era and its crash. V4, 1966 ALPAC kills MT funding for 20 years. V5, Chomsky beats statistics at the philosophical level. V6, ELIZA fools the secretary and SHRDLU understands a block's world. Both hit the same wall. Movement 3, videos 7 to 9. The empiricist comeback and the deep learning explosion. V7, IBM in 1990 ignores grammar and just counts words. VATE, AlexNet to ChatGPT in 10 years on 4 papers. V9, and yet the 4 obstacles still stand. 3 movements, 9 episodes, 1 arc. The history half of the course. Now we leave history behind and look at the thing being studied. That is lecture 2. Lecture 2 opens with the central organizing idea of all of linguistics. Language has layers. Linguists usually count 6. Each layer is its own subproblem in computational linguistics. Each one has its own classical algorithms, its own modern neural treatments, and its own ways of failing. From the bottom, phonology, the sound system. Morphology, how words are built from smaller pieces. Syntax, how words combine into sentences. Semantics, what those sentences mean. Pragmatics, what speakers actually intend when they use them. And discourse, how meaning flows across multiple sentences in a conversation. The layers leak. They do not stay neatly stacked. Phonology bleeds into morphology, syntax bleeds into semantics, and pragmatics leaks into every layer above and below. That is part of why language is so hard. But the stack is still the right starting point, and we are going to walk it for the next 10 weeks. Beat 3. The puzzle update. We started lecture 1 with one question. Do these systems actually understand language, or are they very good pattern matchers? 9 episodes later, we still do not have a clean answer, but we have a sharper question. By the end of lecture 2, you will be able to point at exactly which layer LLMs handle well, which they handle badly, and which they are essentially faking. The puzzle does not get solved this lecture, but it stops being a vibe and starts being a checklist. That is the whole point. 3 takeaways before the quiz. 1. Lecture 1 mapped 75 years of how the field tried to build language systems. Framing, rules, statistics, deep learning. 2. Lecture 2 maps the linguistic layers themselves. 6 levels, leaky, but the right starting point. 3. The running puzzle stays, but by the end of lecture 2 it becomes a checklist instead of a vibe. Quiz 1. Roughly how long was the time span covered by lecture 1? A 10 years, B 30 years, C 75 years, or D 200 years? C. 75 years. Turing in 1950 to ChatGPT in 2022. 9 episodes, 3 movements. Quiz 2. How many layers does the classical linguistic stack have? A 3, B4, C6, or D10? C6. Phonology, Morphology, Syntax, Semantics, Pragmatics, and Discourse. Some textbooks combine Pragmatics and Discourse into one, giving 5. Either way, the order is bottom-up from sound to conversation. Last quiz. What does Lecture 2 turn the running puzzle into? A. A solved problem. B. A checklist of which language layers LLMs handle well, badly, and fake. C. A philosophical debate with no technical content. Or D. A claim that LLMs already understand everything. B. A checklist. The puzzle stays unresolved. But it stops being a vibe. Per-layer evaluation is the actual deliverable of the next 10 weeks. Lecture 1 is closed. You now have the history, the 4 obstacles, the lens. Next time we open Lecture 2 and start walking down the layers, bottom up, sound to conversation. 1 video per layer for the next 10 weeks. Next time, Lecture 2 opens. Why linguists talk about levels, the classical 5-layer model, why the layers leak into each other, and what a computer actually sees at each one. Hit subscribe if you want it the day it drops.